Welcome back to FFB Amigos, and today we are doing the post-match review of the Conference League game, Astana versus Chelsea from Kazakhstan. We traveled to the far, to the cold, to the prior Soviet Union, and collected the 3 points. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There was some fun stuff, some interesting stuff, but by the end it was pretty goddamn boring. But we survived, and that's what I'm here to do. To watch those games on your behalf, give you some input, tell you what happened. I love watching my Chelsea, and I love it when we get to see new things, experimentation, new players on the field. Gives us the opportunity to dream. The first thought that I had, as I said in my prior video, guys, was that in this tournament, I number one not only expect but really want us to win. I care about the cabinet, about our cabinet of trophies, have it complete with all the European trophies, and also I'm thinking in the future it's a great opportunity to break records. I didn't expect Maresca to leave so many players behind. So obviously that was limited. I think with a little bit of a stronger team, we could have put 8 past them without a problem. But in any case, there's a huge gain because other players get an opportunity to show what they're made of and what they can do. I think it was smart for Maresca to rest a lot of players to be utilized in this December that we know is a hard, long run of games in the Premier League. And also, interesting that he did one thing that I projected was likely, which is he did take Pedro Neto with him and start him, given that he has a suspension. So he gives him a little bit of football. I'm not sure he was that excited about the kind of football that he got in the weather, but he did a great job. In any case, the first thing was that the cold, as I mentioned before. I didn't see what it was, but before the game, it was likely they would be up to minus 14. Now the stadium has some ways of mitigating the cold, but it still was a pretty damn cold night. You can see very clearly there was still snow on the ground that was going nowhere, so that's below freezing for sure. And Astana also, it was funny to see that many Chelsea players wearing either gloves or long johns or the weather pants. So you know that it really was cold, and I think that affected the performance of many players. Inevitably, it does. The weather has huge implications sometimes. Astana lined up with what seemed like a 5-3-2, so a low block, but with 5 in the back. Um, as soon as I saw that, one of my thoughts was, that's like kind of what Southampton should have done. Not necessarily on the fact that they line up 5 in the back, but certainly that you play a low block and try to hit us on the counter because you could expose some players that are not that strong. Ironically, the player that I feel got exposed today was Vega, and we'll talk more about that. But in any case, it was a defensive strategy, and it's good for us from the coaching point of view because they're not the main players, but it prompts ideas if they're closing you with a 5-3, sort of how to open spaces and testing ideas. It's a great playground. At one point, Chelsea did something interesting, which looked like a 3-3-1-3 maybe, and that reminded me of Bielsa. Bielsa a long time ago had he got almost killed for it, but he was very ahead of his time. That's why you hear like Guardiola and many coaches like admire and adore this guy. When it works, it works. It's always offensive. It's always aggressive. It's high physicality and running football from him. And he got killed because he did that with Argentina once, which, in retrospect, that was an amazing team. And the tactic is something that is applied now. Some of these formations that you see nowadays do come from older ideas. And I've said before, even a lot of the stuff you see from Barca and from Pep and all this stuff back to the Cruyff days, back to La Masia, where they get a lot of these football ideas and amazing coaches like Bielsa, who have been thought leaders in coaching. In any case, I think that I'd like to see Mark Guiu. I think he's a great striker. I think people forget he's just 18 years old, man. I hope that we keep him on the bench if he gets minutes. Unless there's another strong number 9 that we bring in, I'm okay with him being the alternate number 9. Hopefully, during coaching sessions, he's growing a lot. He does great runs. When a cross is coming, and we saw it in the goal. So on the goal that comes, Pedro Neto destroys their left back and puts in a hard low cross, which is what you were supposed to be. Uh, to where an incoming nine that knows how to do the runs will be, which is just outside the keeper's reach, but not in a diagonal angle that if somebody misses it, it's gonna put the ball back in play very easily in the wrong position. So it was a great cross, and Guiu happens to be there. Yes, it's kind of fuzzy. It hits the defender. Some thought it was an own goal, but no. Uh, an amazing run by him, and I think that's the kind of thing he runs. He beats the defender, and scores. And his individual goal was just amazing. And of course, the competition level is not the highest, but it's a beautiful individual goal coming in from the right hand side. And you guys saw it in his finishing, in a very awkward place that he places the ball for a nice goal. And then Neto was interesting. Obviously, he killed him on the flanks, and you can tell why he's on the main team, right? I mean, suddenly his decision making, you can tell him and Drewsbury Hall. But let's talk about Pedro Neto. His decision making on the ball is a lot smarter. He doesn't lose it that easier. Yes, he takes on players, but he does it in a wise way. So in his case, for example, versus Tyreek George, he takes on the player on the wing, but as long as there's enough space to go wide, and so he beats him to the end of the field, instead of having to stop and come back. So he'll whip it in, right? He doesn't push them all the way back and then leaves little space to beat them. And then when there's no space, he knows how to quickly just turn around, rotate the ball, and reset the play. Mostly playing back to Drewsbury Hall, which again, to me, was the man of the match. You can say Guiu because of the goals. You can say, actually, Champong. I think he had a great match, man. I'm really proud for that young man. I think he had a good match especially for his age. But I'm going to stick with Drewsbury Hall because he's the only one that sort of made sense and played on the field. Rocksaki, I think as you say his name, he started the game really well. The youngster, let's call it the Caicedo role or the Lavia role, that sort of playing out from the back, but then he disappeared a little bit in the game. So, it was driven our performance. Thank God that we had Drewsbury Hall, and thank God we had Neto to sort of give him trouble and set up that assist, which put us now on a cruising mode for the rest of the match. In the back, I just wanted to shout out to Dizazi, man, because I'm not saying he had a great game, particular or anything like that, but somebody's got to run this and be the captain of this team, and I'm grateful that he's doing such. And he's a man that takes a lot of criticism and I feel unfairly because he gets played out of position a lot and doesn't get a run as a center back properly. But I was just happy to see him today, and I'm very again thank you, Dizazi, for being the captain of our team and leading this team out the field on the field today. I do want to mention also Vega. Very, 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 very bad game from Vega, man. The two shots, by the way, that the one golazo by Tomasov, which is an older player. Obviously, the body shape was not right from Vega in defending because one was the goal that this Astana player scores. Tomasov does a cut in as you would expect and made Bukayo Saka look like a punk the way he power shot. That it wasn't. I don't think you could even call it a finesse shot or a curler at that point because there's a lot of power in it. Although it is cuts in from the right to the left towards the middle and plays the wide shot, but with power. Unreachable for any goalkeeper. But I think that Vega on that, and then another one that he gave the same guy, doesn't have his body shape right as a left back. Sure, he's worried about the overlap maybe on those balls, but he allows the cut in and the shot to happen a little too easy. If they beat you because you're in the right place, you put your legs out, and beat you between your legs. Sometimes, like, okay, that can happen, but felt a little bit weak. His all-round game was weak. He gave out the ball from the back a couple of times very poorly. Could have led to a goal. At least one was really bad. Offensively going forward, it was poor decision making, not great. Now I'm not surprised that you know players like Tyreek George, he tried a lot, man, but again, poor decision making, and that's a problem. So they're not ready. It's okay. I think this is what these games are for, but it kind of shows why some of these players are not at the level that they're supposed to be if they really want minutes, and it showed there. Finally, it ended up being kind of hard fought at the end because nothing came after that third goal, and nothing was going to come after that. And the good thing is that we aired out some of these younger players, and that's exciting to see. And that means everybody got a rest. So there's not much news as how whatever happened in this game translate to what happened in the weekend. But what did matter is we got the points. We're still top of the conference league. We're still on route. This puts us points and statistically, I think very close to. I haven't done the math, but yeah, we're through for sure, and we're probably gonna be at the top of the rankings for the next stage in this, and that's always a good thing. And I look forward to the next match. I think it's fun, and people they're like, this doesn't matter, we don't care. But I'll see if I can bring up some images or something. And this matters because of what I said on the prior video. You need to set these records. These things are in the record books in the history forever. So if Chelsea's the highest scoring points, highest scoring goals, opportunities for players like Nkunku that at the beginning got a lot of goals, um, your name will be in the record books. And then when lame ass teams like Tottenham end up in the Conference League, yeah, they might be playing there. They might even win it, but they won't match our records. And that's the kind of thing that I care about. And I think it's good for morale. But above all, you guys that have heard me, that have been listening to me for a while, know that I care about Chelsea as a global brand, as a monster in football, and that's when you have the obligation. And I don't know if you saw, if I have the pictures going back to that, there was some Chelsea fans in the stadium that are not traveling fans, or they're not traveling from England. Certainly, there's fans in Kazakhstan. There's fans in all the ex-Soviet countries, all around the world. And those fans are excited when they get to see the team come and play. And there's young people watching. And it matters that the big team comes in and they win with a gorgeous, sexy uniform. That stuff matters too. That uniform is so cool. That catches young people's eye. A lot of people, when they're young, they watch a big team roll in, or just it could be as simple as somebody that comes in with cool, or a cool player that marks you. And fans are the name of the game. We are the soul of the team. And growing our fan base around the world is important. And you do that by showing up, showing character, displaying the attitude to ride or die for football, and certainly putting your name in the books, and being kind to those fans and loving to those fans, and caring about every competition. So that's where I stand. And please tell me in the comments, what do you guys think about people minimizing the Conference League? Does it matter to you? Do you believe about what I say about fans? Tell me how you became a Chelsea fan, especially if you're not in London, right? If you're outside of London, or even if you're outside in a different country. And I'll certainly make a video where I'm going to share my story. And hopefully some of yours. So if you tell me in the comment sections, we can do a pretty cool video of how different fans came to love Chelsea. Anyway, I'm very excited for the weekend. Thank you so much, guys. It was great watching the game. Please like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll be making a preview video for the weekend game coming up, and all this amazing run of games that we are excited to see, that I call this little era prior to the Man City game coming up, where Chelsea's really going to land in terms of where we're going to end the season, and if we really can become title contenders. And as always, to the players, my friends, our idols, thank you again, and come on, you Blues.